Okay, so YouTube is silly. I tried to rotate the video to make this video proper so that it doesn't have these black edges. And I'm looking to see if we can do that now. Never used this app until now. And here we go. Doesn't look like it's going to do what it's supposed to do. So I'm re-uploading this app and this video. I'm going to shoot it again really fast. Tell you what's going on. I may have not touched on some topics. If I didn't, just go back and watch the other video. I know it's sideways, but it's the app. You have to hold the phone a certain way. You can't put it in landscape mode. I didn't know. First time I used this YouTube app. Junk. Junk. Sorry, I had something in my throat there. My bad. Anyway, here we go. This is mushrooms. Or they are mushrooms. And you can see I have some growing here in the yard. I leave them alone. If I mow the lawn and I take them down, I do. I don't remove mushrooms from the lawn for several different reasons. They're actually doing something beneficial. They're taking the OM, the organic matter that's below the soil surface. They're breaking it down. The only time I remove mushrooms from the lawn is if there's children or pets, and then I'll move them. That's it. What I said earlier in the earlier video, I'm going to try to reiterate in this one really fast. I started nurturing this lawn last winter, less than a year, and I started putting out used coffee grounds from Starbucks. You can go pick those up for free. It's free organic matter for your lawn. It's free fertilizer for your lawn. It's kind of nitrogen rich. It's about 2 to 3% nitrogen. Your phosphorus and your NPK. I don't know why it does that. But your potassium, or potash, your potassium, they're both less than 1. They're about 0.3. But you do get those, and you do get some micro and macronutrients from using used coffee grounds. Now I have amended this soil. I keep putting about, I don't know, I'd say 20 pounds, roughly, or 30 pounds a day on it for several months. And now I have actual grass back here in this particular lawn. As you know, if you saw the older videos, this was a weed-infested dirt lot, and I read the weeds to tell what the lawn needs. I don't use synthetic fertilizers here. I don't use synthetic chemicals or man-made chemicals on this lawn to control weeds. I look at the weeds and use those indications of what the lawn needs. Now, in the 1950s, you used to see a lot of clover seeds in with your lawn seeds. That's how you bought it. If you bought a certain grass type of seeds, you would actually see a lot of clover seeds in there also. Now what that did was it actually clover provides nitrogen for the grass seeds. But if you have a lot of clover growing in your yard, that tells you one important thing. It tells you that your yard needs nitrogen, period. And you may have compacted soil. So that the clover will take nitrogen out of the air and actually enrich the soil. It's not a bad thing, but just by looking at your yard, if you have a lot of clover, which is not a bad thing. Clover's not a bad thing, it really isn't. But you know that your soil needs nitrogen. Now, I went earlier and described basically that a mushroom that's above ground is basically the fruit of mycelia that's below ground, which is part of the fungus, or fungi, that's below ground that's breaking down the organic matter. Mushrooms don't hurt the lawn. So I generally try to leave them unless I'm cutting and they're at the right height, because I take 1/3 inch off of a blade of grass when I cut. Now, with that said, the mushroom is actually fruit. This isn't an apple tree, and you can see where apples are actually going to start blossoming and start coming onto this tree, onto this apple tree. This apple tree's about 2 years old, but I take care of it, and I do it organically. And you can see down below, those are coffee grounds that I've got to mix in. I haven't had a chance to mix them in. Just got them thrown down on some weed barrier right now. And I got to cut the lawn too. Sorry guys, I know it looks bad, but I'm never here to take care of this one. So anyway, with that said, if you pay attention to your lawn, just study it. Just get out and enjoy your lawn. It will teach you a lot of things, and if you understand those things, you don't have to treat it with chemicals or man-made things. You can let nature do its thing. Nature will repair and fix things if given time. Same thing with your lawn. This is the actual bricks that sometimes the coffee grounds come in, and you can just crumble those. And once you spread those, it smells like coffee, yeah. But it will actually fertilize the lawn, and it's free fertilizer. Second, this is a dandelion. Most people hate those. And you can see that in the lawn. The Native Americans used to call this the sun and the moon for the dandelions. I leave them in the lawn. They're bringing nutrients up. Magnesium, everything. They bring a lot of nutrients up from a really long taproot that's sometimes 2 feet in the ground. And they'll bring the nutrients up to the grass, basically so that they can use it. The grass can actually take part in that and enjoy the fruits of the labor of what that dandelion actually does. There's one other dandelion. He's kind of dead. He's right here. But that brings nutrients up. What happens when the nutrients come up? The actual roots of the grass can actually start enjoying it. So don't freak out if you have a bunch of weeds in your yard. Just learn to understand what they mean, what's going on, why they're there. I have a video on that. It's an older video. It may be on this channel or maybe on my my Grand Dunes Landscape and Maintenance channel. I'm not sure. You have to check. I have no idea. The reasons you have these mushrooms in your lawn, it's kind of twofold. Either not having enough sunlight, maybe it's a shaded area, or a lot of moisture, or a combination of those, plus organic matter in the ground. Having organic matter in the ground is a great thing. Maybe you had an old tree stump there. Maybe there's dog waste there. Maybe there's other things. But you know that the fungus is breaking down inside of the soil. The soil is a living thing. It's an ecosystem within itself. I mean, if you take a tablespoon of soil, there's billions of microbes in it. It's just beneficial to you all around. Now, with that said, I hope that I clarified a couple things. If you have any questions, maybe go back and look at my sideways video, because I didn't hold the camera right, because I'm so used to my better app where I can hold it sideways and it doesn't have these two black screens on the side. But, of course, YouTube doesn't have that yet. You hear me, YouTube? Did I say it loud enough? Okay, all right. Just check it, make sure. Maybe there's an unlock button so I can turn my camera sideways. I doubt it. But that's what it needs. So, with that said, these are apple trees. That's an apple tree. I grew from a seed, organic seed from an apple I actually ate off a friend's farm. And I took care of it and nurtured it. Just the same thing with this one. That one was a seed also. And I've grown both of these. That one I actually bought. It was a little tiny fella. It was like this guy. And I've got a couple of trees I have to replace. They're here. And speaking of growing grass on a dirt lot. So if you want grass, just make a little small garden. Period. Look at all that grass in this garden. This garden's a week old. As most people know, that is corn. It's growing all down through there. Every kind of vegetable you can think of is growing in here. Those are potatoes. They need to be covered some more. And you can see I got old eggshells in there. Everything's organic. But grass will grow where you don't want it to grow. It'll grow on your sidewalk. It'll grow in your garden when you don't want it. I've got to get in there and hand pull all that. Because the compost that I make is so rich. It's just what nature wants. You give it what it wants and it'll grow. Period. And as you can see, my grass here on this lawn loves that garden. And there's a weed barrier down below. It's just, when I started this garden last year, I put down cardboard. Pretty thick, but the grass found its way through it. Amazing. That's how rich it is. That's how rich that soil is. And I'll actually probably take another video of this little quick garden. That's not even a week old, and that's corn. And the old saying says, knee-high by July. Well, nitrogen is really needed for corn to grow, and I'll organically feed that. Depending on where it's at in the garden, I'm going to need bone meal, blood meal, and a couple other little things. I use a lot of eggshells for my calcium. I do use my coffee grounds in the garden there. But I have gardens planted all over my county. and I have fruit trees that are growing all over my county. Some of them are guerrilla gardened. Sorry. Not really. Prove I planted it. Just kidding. But yeah, they're to benefit mankind, nature, whether it's birds, animals, or people. If they find them, they find them. Same thing with the gardens. I've got gardens everywhere. You would not imagine. But back to the mushrooms. Let's try to get on topic again, because I'm so upset about that video not being of great quality earlier. With these mushrooms in the lawn, I know that there's organic matter actually in this soil now. This soil was pretty dead when I started. I mean, there was nothing growing here except for some weeds, and all those weeds told me what I needed to do. I needed to amend it with calcium. So every eggshell that I had, I even went to a couple farmers, got their eggshells, was able to crush those, put them on the lawn. Do a lot of free fertilizer, a lot of free soil amendments with Starbucks coffee grounds. Just go and ask for them. They'll usually give them to you for free. And over time, and I used a little bit of, this is funny, because I can read the weeds and tell what the lawn needs, the soil needs. I knew that I needed to put some Epsom salt out here. And so I have a calculation of how much square footage is here on this property, inside this fence, outside this fence, the front yard, etc., etc. And because of the amount of weeds, I knew that I needed to put about 2 pounds of Epsom salt per 1,000 square feet for the lawn. I just calculated in my head real easy. I don't know, you do it long enough, you really just kind of, you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, I understand how to do that. So, hope this video helps, and I'm glad it's up and down and not sideways all crazy. And I did give a shout out on the other video. Hopefully those channels get some attention, because they deserve it. They definitely do. And see you. Take care. Have a nice day.